Welcome back to Stephen A. Smith Show right here over the digital airways of YouTube. Thursday night, President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump held their first of two scheduled debates moderated by CNN's Dana Bash and Jake Tapper at CNN Studios in Atlanta, Georgia. During the 90-minute debate, Biden and Trump were asked about the economy, the war in Ukraine, climate change, the border, and election denials, issues most Americans, in polls anyway, say they're most concerned about. And let's not get Roe v. Wade. Those are some of the issues heading into the 2024 election, of course. Ladies and gentlemen, it was a disaster. It was an utter embarrassment. The fact that those two candidates, one that's been indicted and ultimately convicted, who's been impeached twice, the other who's clearly lost his fastball, he's a bit considerably slower than he used to be. No shame in that. He's 81 years of age. We're talking about our President Joe Biden. But the bottom line is that 2-3 minutes in, he froze. 2-3 minutes in, you were wondering, the panic mode hit because you were wondering whether or not this was going to be Mitch McConnell all over again when he froze during a press conference. It was scary as hell. And the fact that these are the two best candidates that the world has to see for the presidency of the United States might be one of the most embarrassing situations we've ever witnessed as a country. You know, I've been on the record and I've taken a lot of heat saying this, but the Democrats should be ashamed of themselves. It's a national disgrace that since 2016, you didn't have enough of a bullpen and you left folks to depend on Joe Biden. It's an absolute, utter disgrace that he was on that stage last night. Maybe he can sit behind a desk in the Oval Office and he's still sharp enough to make decisions. But clearly in a live format with no delays and no insulation whatsoever, where you stand out there on your own, mano a mano, versus a Donald Trump who, if nothing else, was sharp. I'm not saying he was telling the truth. I'm not saying that he was substantive in everything that came out of his mouth and he was honest and factual and all of that stuff, because we know that is never the case with Donald Trump. The bottom line is he appeared to be pretty sharp, lucid, aware, quick on his feet, etc. And to be quite honest with you, regardless of how disrespectful he appeared at times, I thought he took it light on Trump. I'm sorry, on Biden. I thought he took it light on Biden. It was that damn bad. Now, if you're the Democratic Party, you're going to have some people out there saying it was just one night and it was just one debate. Nah. What if Trump says, I don't need to debate again? And all we have to hold on to is what we witnessed last night. A brain fart within 3 minutes. Mumbling often enough where Donald Trump ended up saying, I don't understand what he said with that last sentence. I don't think he understands what he said. Where the nation is looking at it, and you have pundits on both sides of the aisle looking sad and despondent. In Van Jones' case for CNN, he looked like he was about to cry. Other pundits were saying, where are the family members? How could you put your dad out there like that? How could you put your husband out there like that? If you're the Democratic Party, how could you put one of your colleagues and your contemporaries out there like that? What the hell is going on? What's going on? He's not what he used to be. Ain't Kamala Harris qualified? Westmore, governor of Maryland, what about him? Gavin Newsom, you gonna still keep saying, you ain't running, you ain't running, you ain't running. Nobody's gonna go to Biden and say, we love you. We appreciate what you've done for this country, your years of service. But please, it's time for you to step aside. We just gonna let him go out there like that. We just gonna leave him out hanging like that. You know how desperate that makes you look as a Democratic Party? I can say that. I don't care about people coming after me. I have voted Democrat 99% of the time in my life. The only Republican I ever voted for was Governor Chris Christie in New Jersey. That's it. Don't come to me telling me as an American citizen I don't have a right to look at what I saw last night and be incredibly concerned. I understand this isn't the first romp we've seen in the debate. Barack Obama got destroyed in his first debate versus Mitt Romney. And he came back like a winner thereafter. But in the very first debate against Mitt Romney, it should have been a mercy rule inserted. It was that bad. But he's young enough, vibrant enough, intellectually heightened, obviously quick of foot, knowing, substantive, combative, etc., etc. He didn't have Father Time operating against him. There is no shame for Joe Biden. If you're listening, Mr. President, there's no shame in stepping away because you acknowledge you just don't have it anymore. Not on that kind of platform. But that's just me. Joe Biden, as far as I'm concerned, needs to step away. Kamala Harris needs to be inserted immediately as the candidate to go up against Trump, or get somebody else up in there. Get somebody else up in there. Because what we saw last night, Trump will be the next president of the United States of America come January 2025. Biden will not beat him. Not the Biden we saw on national television during the presidential debate last night. It will not happen. But that's just me.